听到我的朋友 Alan 这样吃蔬菜，所以呢，我帮他准备超爆多的蔬菜。
I think this is definitely what a friend should do.
Okay.
To torture your friend when he's a vegetarian.
This is a Heidogan braised tofu. Oh my god, I just dropped my tofu right into my tea. Taiwan has over 3 million people that identify as vegetarian.
吃素食跟蔬食的消费者，他们其实除了在意健康以外，越来越的年轻化。
Representing 14% of the population, this puts us at 5th in the world when it comes to measuring vegetarianism by percentage of population. This high percentage is influenced by Taiwan's strong Buddhist traditions, as well as a growing awareness of the health and environmental benefits of a plant-based diet. So let me officially welcome you to this video where we'll be going on a 7-day vegetarian adventure. Nice. Exploring the rich and diverse plant-based food that this beautiful little island of Taiwan has to offer. Perfect. With over 6,000 vegetarian restaurants on the island, and of course that strong Buddhist influence I mentioned earlier, I'm certain we're going to find a huge variety of vegetarian dishes to try. Wow. From traditional temple foods to modern, innovative cuisine, and of course not forgetting vegetarian versions of some world-famous Taiwanese dishes. Oh my goodness, this looks amazing. We'll be exploring bustling night markets, serene temples, and of course we'll be hitting up some vibrant local eateries. And talking of vibrant local eateries, that brings us to Kongye Sushi. And talking of vibrancy, this place is absolutely packed, proving that Taiwan's hunger for vegetarian food is very much alive. I've ordered some tomato noodles and also a whole host of other snacks that are going to arrive. But first things first, let's dig into these noodles, see how they taste. Light, tasty, and obviously there's no meat substitute in this one, so it's very obvious it's a vegetarian dish. But in this video, what I'll be giving each restaurant a rating for is how likely I am to return as a meat eater, and of course how satiated, how full does the food make me feel, because that's one thing I'm worried about over these next 7 days, is not feeling satisfied after eating a vegetarian meal. I've been a meat eater for 41 years, so I'm a little bit nervous that I'm going to be struggling without meat. My other side dishes have arrived, so let's check them out. This is a Heidogan braised tofu. Oh my god, I just dropped my tofu right into my tea. Down the hatch. Certainly don't recommend the tofu after being dropped in tea. Let's try an original piece. Nice. This is a mi gao, again vegetarian, so this has a meat substitute and also some mushrooms on the side. It tastes good too. Wow, I like it. So I'm going to start with a relatively high rating for the first restaurant of the video. This restaurant is going to get a 4.2, but that's day 1 in the books, which is going to bring us to day 2, where we're going to be eating some vegetarian breakfast, which recently has been consisting only of freshly squeezed lemon juice, followed 10 minutes later by the juice of 1 head of celery. And then 15 minutes after all of that has entered my system, we follow up with a nice big healthy bowl of muesli with some added blueberries, freshly chopped banana, honey for sweetness, and of course dojang to finish it off. So good. This has been my treat every morning for the past couple of months, and I love it. And as well as eating this every morning, I'll be having a weigh-in over the next 7 days and see if a vegetarian diet has any effect on my body weight. Morning of day 2, and we are at 94.35 kilos. Nice. But as for now, breakfast done, time to get to vegetarian lunch, for which I am actually in Banqiao visiting a friend, and Google has told me the closest vegetarian restaurant is Mingde Sushi, which is a buffet restaurant with lots of vegetarian options. But the most interesting of all the ingredients I chose is probably the spring roll, a very common Chinese food that we would eat back in the UK. Deep fried, so probably not as healthy as some of the other options, but actually really delicious, and importantly, still warm, still hot spring roll from a buffet. One thing I am surprised by is the level of colour and attractiveness of the vegetarian food. This lunchbox, no meat in it, but looks so much more colourful and attractive than some other lunchboxes that you get. Maybe I'm trying too hard to find positives with this vegetarian food, but definitely looks more attractive than I was expecting. And personally, I'm not feeling any special effects of the vegetarian diet so far, whether positive or negative, but I am getting a little bit surprised at how busy the vegetarian restaurants are. In my country, vegetarian restaurants would often be the last choice. They'd often be ignored, or the vegetarian option is just a small detail on the bottom of the menu. But here in Taiwan, so far, the 2 restaurants I've been to have been crowded, busy, packed, and just treated by everybody as a normal restaurant. Really interesting to see. I'll be interested to see some more of the options as we go throughout the week. But now it's time to get to dinner, where we've got a special guest who's going to be cooking me a vegetarian dinner. So everybody, let's welcome Kudama!
我听到我的朋友 Alan 这样吃 蔬菜，所以呢，我帮大家准备超爆多的蔬菜，耶！这个是从法国来的蔬菜，高级蔬菜。我们这里有 Brussels sprout， 有菠菜，有马铃薯，有青椒，给我们的蔬菜宝宝 Ellen。
期待哦。What's the name of this dish?
Les légumes de saison de chez Cou.
Sounds delicious.
Right?
Yeah, and I'm a bit worried when I come to a restaurant and the restaurant owner doesn't eat the same food as me. Tastes good. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah. You're eating for free, you ungrateful. You're eating for free, you're like, nah.
Flavor, 4.0.
4.0.
4.0. 满分.
So you like it?
I like it, yeah.
Why you like it?
What about vegetarian food? How often do you eat vegetarian food?
Never.
So thanks to Ku for not only welcoming me into his house while I'm staying here in Taipei, but also for providing that rather delicious and nutritious vegetarian dinner, and of course for providing the celery for this morning's celery juice. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
As always, keeping it healthy for breakfast, but today, day 3, has been a rather quiet day, sitting in Louisa, editing videos all day and eating a vegetarian omelette pancake thing. Starting to miss meat just a little bit, but earlier I was on Peggy's podcast, which was a lot of fun. I didn't say anything to get myself in trouble, right? Yeah. So yes, thanks to Peggy for having me on her podcast. It was a lot of fun as expected, and there's a link in the description down below if you want to check out the full video. But as for now, I'm going to go back to meet Peggy after she's finished her 4th and final podcast filming of the day and see what vegetarian options are available for dinner. Just me and you? Wow, nice, lucky you. And although Peggy started off being very sweet and friendly to me by checking there was a vegetarian option, it wasn't long before she showed her true colors and ordered one of my favorite seafood dishes that I couldn't touch just to torture me.
I think this is definitely what a friend should do.
Okay.
To torture your friend when he's a vegetarian.
And yes, I agree with Peggy's sentiment. Only true friends can tease each other like this. But after a few minutes of chat, Peggy had some rather interesting info on the Taiwanese vegetarian diet.
Just now he came to me and said, oh, it's not vegetarian because there's garlic and onions in there. For Westerner or foreigners, you might consider this as vegetarian, but for Taiwanese, usually people are vegetarian because of the religion, because they don't eat meat, they don't want to put too much seasoning in there, and so that's also considered as non-vegetarian.
And after a little more research, I also found that onions and garlic are not vegetarian because they are impure and make people too horny. But anyway, we'll ignore that and get back to the video. Wow, 谢谢美女请我吃饭.
Thank you.
谢谢.
Being on my podcast.
And when you're in Taichung, I'll treat you to dinner, how? Nice. Once again, thanks to Ku and Peggy for their hospitality up in the north. And of course, we started this morning with the usual healthy vegetarian breakfast and day 4's weigh-in. 93.8, baby. So there has been a little bit of weight loss since day 2, nothing significant. So we're going to get inside Meisu Cafe and hopefully eat some vegetarian brunch. And while we're eating brunch, we're going to do a little bit of search on Google to hopefully investigate some of the health benefits of being vegetarian, how it's going to affect my body short term and long term. Okay, so my vegetarian brunch has arrived. We've gone for a latte and a vegetarian ham and egg sandwich with cheese, I think. Looks like some substituted replacement vegan vegetarian ham. Let's give it a go, see how it compares. Absolutely chock packed full of egg, which is obviously going to be good for my protein intake, and that fake ham that they've given me. Can't differentiate the difference between that and a regular ham. So far, so good. So yes, of course, eggs in the sandwich, milk in the latte. This is not a vegan diet, definitely vegetarian. If you do want to see a fully vegan 7 days video, then let me know in the comment section down below. But I want to get onto some of the short-term and long-term effects of a vegetarian diet. So I've done a little bit of Googling, which is always good for medical advice, of course. And for short-term effects of a vegetarian diet, a review of the scientific evidence shows lowered blood pressure. I don't actually have any problems with my blood pressure, so that one shouldn't affect me too much. Weight loss and improved heart health. I definitely need to lose weight. I have been losing a little bit of weight recently, not drinking and exercising more. So a vegetarian diet is definitely going to be helping that. Improved gut health and improved bowel habits and reduced stress. I don't want to be too detailed or graphic on this channel, especially while I'm eating, and maybe you're eating while watching, but my bowel movements are definitely improving, smoother, and But things get more serious when we take a look at the long-term effects of a vegetarian diet, where it says that vegetarian diets decrease the risk of many forms of cancer, heart disease, gallstones, kidney stones, osteoporosis, and diabetes, all of which can be a big problem as you get into middle age once you get past 40. So is it time for me to consider a permanent vegetarian diet? Definitely something I'll be thinking about as I move forward to this video and I start to explore the different options that are available to me. But anyway, that's enough for brunch. We're going to get ourselves to work in the afternoon. Then it's time for dinner, where hopefully we can get the chance to try some really traditional Taiwanese foods, vegetarian style. And talking of trying vegetarian versions of Taiwanese classic, we are starting with one of the most iconic Taiwanese dishes at this restaurant, 来来素食, just over my shoulder. Let's get inside, see how this vegetarian version of this Taiwanese classic measures up to the original version. 嗨，你好，你们有牛肉面吗？素食的，对，我知道。我好期待试试看。听说你们的这菜酱最好吃的。
我跟您说70块。
哦，好。
好的，
谢谢。
谢谢。
哇，谢谢。Oh my goodness, this looks amazing. I can't believe how good it looks. Yes, to the untrained eye, this would look like a normal beef noodles. But to a trained eye that's eaten hundreds of bowls of beef noodles, it definitely looks a bit different. The meat does look fake. There's no getting around that. There's only one thing left to do. Put it to the test, see how it measures up. Let's get some noodles before we try that meat. Ooh. Noodles definitely measure up. Nothing strange or different about the noodle, but the ultimate test is going to be this meat. I am starting to miss meat. It's now Saturday. Last time I ate meat, I think, was on Tuesday. So well into 72 hours of vegetarianism. I'm not sure how that meat looks on camera, but it looks a little bit like weird meat if you were to ask me without checking. It just tastes like a different weird kind of meat. If you didn't tell me any different, I just think it was weird meat. This is passable. This passes as beef noodles. I'm really impressed. How is it? 这个是豆干，是豆腐，是做。
那个是那个香菇头。
啊，香菇头。
对，那个是香菇。
So it's just mushrooms. That's so interesting. I didn't have it down as mushrooms. But whatever it is, it's absolutely delicious. And I would give it a solid 4.2 stars out of 5. Wow, that was amazing. 好，谢谢。很好吃。Wow, that was a good beef noodles, a genuinely good beef noodles. And it's something I was a little bit worried about before eating it. I thought it was going to be too fake, but it impressed me. And I think if I was to seriously consider a permanent vegetarian lifestyle, something I would miss would be beef noodles. It's one of my favorite Taiwanese dishes, but that was amazing. That was impressive. It's really got me thinking about, is it possible for me to continue a vegetarian lifestyle? Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to day 5 of this vegetarian food challenge. We have started the day as usual with a weigh-in.
Day 5, 93.8.
So no big changes to the weight over the past 24 hours, but I am starting to feel a little bit lighter. That could be down to the vegetarian diet, or it could be the fact that I haven't drank beer for over a month now. I'm sure many of you will be happy to hear that. But anyway, as tomorrow is Dragon Boat Festival, we are in the mood for 粽子。叫素食的粽子。
有素食的粽子，这种是白米的，这种是五谷米的。
两个都要。Okay, so what better location to eat a couple of zongzi than sitting out in front of Wanhe Temple, which links in with one of the main reasons that a lot of Taiwanese people, or at least 3 million as we heard earlier, are vegetarian, and that's for religious reasons. Now, oh wow, okay, that's what you meant. Purple rice, just look at that. Feels a little bit oily, as do they usually, but let's get it stuck in, give it a go. Perfect. Really good. Ugumi gets my seal of approval. Let's get on to the next sushi zongzi, which I think is just going to be a bai mi, white rice. I would hope for some chestnuts or some mushrooms, but it just looks like fake meat. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, this one is packed full of different ingredients. It looks like a meatball, like a fake meatball, obviously. But anyway, yes, back to what I was saying about the religious aspect of being a vegetarian here in Taiwan. And of course, a lot of the population is Buddhist with a strong Taoist influence too. And of course, Buddhists believe in not harming any animal of any sort. So that's the reason why a lot of people are vegetarian. But I do have to say, I don't think that's the main reason. I think the main reason a lot of Taiwanese people choose vegetarianism is for health. I read one article online that says being a vegetarian can add as much as 10 years to your life over that of a meat eater, and Taiwanese people value health so much more than Western people do. That extra 10 years that you would get with your family, spending time on this planet, doing good for other people, is worth giving up meat to a lot of Taiwanese people. And I'm sure if you ask a lot of elderly people in the West, when they're just about to pop their clogs and leave this mortal coil, would you have liked an extra 10 years for just giving up meat? I'm sure a lot of us would agree with it. I certainly would appreciate me or my loved ones having an extra 10 years on the planet just to give up meat. So it's really starting to ring a few bells with me in my head as to whether or not not I should make this a permanent decision. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Definitely impressed with my 2 vegetarian zongzi. I'm going to give them a solid 4.0 out of 5. If you like watching me eat zongzi, then go check out last year's video where I ate 5 zongzi in one day. And if you watched that video and find that you've developed a fetish for watching foreigners eating zongzi, then you can also go check out Prozzy's channel where he's just released his zongzi video giving his opinion on this traditional Taiwanese snack.
And this is a terrible texture.
And talking of vegetarian versions of Taiwanese classics, we have come to Qing Xing Sushi, a very cute hole-in-the-wall style vegetarian restaurant, for another of my favorite Taiwanese dishes, vegetarian style. 我找你们的姜母鸭，素食的，要1份。80，好，谢谢。你们也吃素吗？
对啊，
几天？
我太太
35年。14，哇！我刚刚开始吃素，医生说要注意健康，比较好，对。哇，很大，谢谢。Wow. Okay, so Jiang Mu Ya is one of my favorite restaurants to go to. The Jiang Mu Ya Zhetao restaurants are a little bit different. So this place, of course, is very cute, very personal, but this looks absolutely awesome. Way better than I was expecting. The fake duck meat even has goose pimples on it to make it look incredibly real, and it looks incredibly light and healthy. Reminds me a little bit of a Vietnamese pho, but let's take a look at this duck meat. I'm not sure if that's picking up the dimples or the goose pimples. I'm not sure that's vegetarian. That genuinely would convince me that that was duck meat. Whatever it's made from, tofu or mushrooms, is really convincing, really satiating my taste buds. Wow, that was amazing. It really gave the beef noodles from yesterday a run for its money. So I think I'm going to give it an equal score, 4.2 out of 5. Okay, 非常好，感谢，我一定回来。Okay, 谢谢，拜拜。谢谢。Okay, hello everybody and welcome back to day 6, the penultimate of the 7-day challenge, eating vegetarian food only. And this morning started a little bit different. We did have a weigh-in.
93.4, baby, that's almost a kilo.
So weight loss is happening, but very slowly. And this morning's breakfast was a little bit different as I had to be up early at the hospital for some routine checks. Nothing to worry about, but that meant we had to hit McDonald's for breakfast and it was not good.
好无聊的麦当劳，没有肉。就是有蛋跟起司而已，好可怜的我。This is the worst thing I've eaten all week.
So yes, vegetarian McDonald's breakfast certainly not advised, but now we are at lunchtime and we have come to Mingzhu Suyuan. I'm eating their vegetarian baoan, vegetarian Taiwanese meatballs, of which they serve 2 different types. There is steamed and there is fried, and this is the fried one. I like this one because it's a more tui texture. Not bad at all. That pink sauce on top is really quite sweet, but I think what it needs is an extra addition of some Dongchen Lajang. Oh. Delicious, really good. Definitely missing that big meatball inside, which is obviously my favorite part of a baoan, but they've got the skin absolutely perfect, and the savory mushrooms or whatever filling they've used does a kind of okay job of replacing the meat. I'm going to give it 3.8 out of 5. Okay, and for dinner we have come to another classic Taiwanese restaurant. We have come for vegetarian hot pot, and the restaurant we have chosen to come to is actually called Dai Dai Mu Japanese style hot pot. And while strictly speaking it's not a completely vegetarian restaurant, it does offer some vegetarian options, but the one worrying thing is the soup that they've served me with is just a basic water. So I've got some boiled water and some fresh veggies, so I feel like I'm definitely going to be needing this hot pot sauce that I've created to add some flavor. Let's just throw everything in, get it all in, get it cooked. The sauce definitely saves the day. Otherwise, this would be a relatively bland, simple, very vegetarian dish. But one thing I do want to touch on that I mentioned a little bit earlier is the options that are available. Today has been the first time that we've actually encountered difficulty finding somewhere open with different options of vegetarian food, and that's because it's Dragon Boat Festival. The rest of the time, I've been spoiled for choice when it came to looking for vegetarian options. I've asked my friends to look for vegetarian beef noodles, vegetarian ginger duck, vegetarian baoan, and there's been several options available. So it's plain to see that Taiwan is definitely a vegetarian country and has no problems providing for a vegetarian diet. Okay, so we've reached day 7, the final day of this vegetarian challenge, and I had my weigh-in this morning. I'll keep that a secret till the very end of the video to see how much weight I lost or gained over the 7 days. Let's get in for lunch on day 7. We're going to be eating some vegetarian loro fan. 你好，你们有螺肉饭吗？螺肉饭。
我们是素食的。
我知道，我
素饭，素燥饭。
素燥饭。
这边吃吗？
这边。 Okay, and for that Loro fan, we have come to 这些选择素食, where they have served me with this incredibly interesting looking 素食 Loro fan. Regular Loro fan, you just get some rice, some meat, a little bit of gravy, but in here we've got all sorts of ingredients, which possibly explains the slightly increased price. $50 for a small bowl, $70 for a large bowl. And one thing I did notice over these 7 days is that people tend to double check with me that I want a vegetarian option. 素食的对我知道. Maybe not a lot of foreigners are coming in ordering vegetarian food. When I asked for Loro fan, she was double checking that it's a vegetarian option. But let's get stuck into this Loro fan, see how it tastes. Very vegetarian feeling. It definitely doesn't have the meaty, savory flavor that a regular Loro fan would have. And there's even a vegetarian option of miche, pig's blood. That one's a little bit dodgy, but overall it's a very satisfactory Loro fan. A little bit more interesting, as I said, than a regular Loro fan. And I definitely would come back to eat this in the future as a meat eater if I was in the area. I'm going to give it a 3.9 out of 5. So the only thing to do is get to dinner, our final meal of the day, and more importantly, our final meal of this 7-day challenge. Okay, so we have done it. We have made it to the final meal of the 7-day vegetarian challenge. And to celebrate, we are having a night market staple here at Fengjiayesi. We are eating shen suji, again, vegetarian style. 这个都是素食，对不对？好. Okay, so we've got our bag of shen suji, and right behind me, opposite the shop, is a shop saying no beef, no life. Not sure if I agree. Let's get into it and have a chat whether I agree or not. Okay, so we are fighting against the light here at sunset on day 7, but we are getting stuck into this shen suji, starting with this deep fried shrimp skewer. Not bad, a little bit like one of those fake crab sticks that you get. Shen suji style mushroom. That's good. The texture is really like shen suji, really crispy. And basically there's just a bag of shen suji goodness, all deep fried. But this is the classic. This is what is supposed to represent the original shen suji, the deep fried chicken. The texture obviously isn't the same meatiness as chicken, but the flavor is the shen suji flavor. So that's going to bring us to the end of this video and see if we can get some kind of summary out of these 7 days, some kind of meaning. And I definitely have put the question to myself as to whether or not I could permanently continue this vegetarian lifestyle. And the answer would be probably not. There's just something about meat that satisfies me, that makes me feel a meal is complete. But as I said, I'm definitely going to consider longer periods of time of going vegetarian, maybe 1 week a month, 2 weeks a month. The health benefits seem to be scientifically proven enough that it would be beneficial to me. Past 40, it definitely seems to be of benefit. Maybe the lights are on a vegetarian diet. Anyone who's got any comments on a vegetarian healthy lifestyle, please let me know down below whether you've adopted a vegetarian lifestyle, short term, long term, or intermittently. I'd love to hear what you've got to say on the subject. But yeah, thanks for watching to the very end of the video. As for now, as always, I'll see you next time in my life in Taiwan. Peace. Bye-bye. Right, let's get out of this park. These mosquitoes are eating me alive. Woo-wee.
Exactly 93.
Final weight, 93 kilos, meaning a total weight loss of 1.4 kilos in 7 days. Thanks to a vegetarian diet. Bye-bye.